Chapter 1. Pheanor.
Then he died, but there was neither burial nor tomb for him. For so fiery was his spirit that as soon as he was gone, his body fell to ash, and was borne away like smoke. None like him as ever again appeared in Arda, and his spirit went not out from the halls of Mandos. Thus ended the mightiest of the Noldor, whose deeds brought them both their greatest renown and their most grievous woe. J.R.R. Tolkien, The Silmarillion.
A young, dark-haired man in his early 20s scratched the back of his head and snapped the book shut. "Well, that's all fine and good," he said, addressing a green dragonfly comfortably perched on a tall blade of grass by the lake. "But what a rainbow were my parents thinking, naming me Pheanor? I mean, sure, Pheanor's a great guy and all, but come on, couldn't he have survived in the end? Am I supposed to follow his fate or what? Huh?" The dragonfly stared at him with its faceted eyes in confusion. Perhaps, if it could, it would have made the cuckoo sign with one of its legs. But being unable to do so, it simply lifted off the swaying grass and flew toward the water. "Great!" The young man sighed and threw his hands up. "Nobody understands me," as usual. He reluctantly got up from the flattened grass, and an old worn-out book slipped from his lap onto the ground. Theory of Spells. Pheanor grimaced. He should have been starting to escape the swamp of a life. Instead, he had spent the whole day reading something completely unrelated. He picked up his books, took one last look at the shimmering blue surface of the lake, and trudged toward the house standing on the hill. His thoughts were still occupied by the story he had just read. The main character fascinated him. It even flattered him that his own name was Pheanor as well. Besides, he had elven blood somewhere down the line, through some distant branch involving a cousin of the great-great-grandmother. So naturally, while he hadn't inherited pointed ears, he had at least got magical talent. Still, the young man was determined to become a proper mage, and was already looking for a suitable mentor in practical magic. The problem was that not just anyone was accepted as an apprentice. One could attend open lectures at the academy or study alone. The main thing was to prove you were worth something. But he was still far from that. From a distance, he saw his young wife on the porch, Lumiere. She was clearly in a bad mood, but he'd gotten used to that by now. They had married 4 years ago when both were barely 18. Now it was hard to recognize the girl he had once fallen in love with. Dark circles under her eyes, hair carelessly tied into a bun, and an apron stained with flour and grease. "Wow!" Lumiere's voice struck the air the moment he came closer. "Did you even see me?" Pheanor slowed his steps slightly. "I do see you." "No," she cut him off sharply. "You don't. You never do. I've been up since morning." She stopped, swaying slightly as if she had lost her balance. From behind her legs, a messy 4-year-old girl peeked out with mischievous eyes. Good morning, Vicky, Pheanor said calmly to his daughter, as if the conversation with his wife had already ended. Go to Daddy, sweetheart. Tell me honestly, Lumiere said bitterly. Am I not enough for you anymore? Are you seeing someone else? Don't start this in front of the child, Pheanor frowned. And don't start at all. I'm exhausted as it is. Oh, so that's how it is. Lumiere's voice sharpened. So I'm supposed to stay at home all day, take care of Vicky, while you round around using your stupid magic and meeting your friends instead of paying attention to me. Excuse me, Pheanor snapped. Am I supposed to sit next to you all day and talk to no one? Yes, she almost shouted. You have a daughter, for crying out loud. It's time you started thinking about your family. I do think about it, he shot back. I work, I struggle every single day. I study magic so we can climb out of this pit. So I can't just relax by the lake whenever I want. You only think about yourself, she snapped. What about me? Good afternoon. The voice came from the side, cold and demanding. Lumiere fell silent immediately when she noticed a stranger in military armor by the gate. She quickly took Vicky from her husband's arms and disappeared into the house. Morning, actually, Pheanor replied without any embarrassment. But all right, how can I help you? An enemy threatens the western borders of our glorious Nadrian. A general mobilization of reserves has been declared. Since you have not completed military service, you are required to report for duty. Me? Pheanor almost choked in disbelief. Excuse me, but I have a family, a daughter. I'm not exactly a young man anymore. The man frowned sternly. War does not ask whether you have a daughter or how old you are. In 1 week, you are to report to the western border of Nadrian in Arcanol. The road is long, so the call-up is issued in advance. Failure to comply will result in forced labor on the Amboga plantations. The man turned sharply, mounted his white horse, and rode away. Work on the Amboga plantations was not appealing at all. Amboga was a delicate, capricious plant, though it played a vital role in Nadrian's industry. Pheanor smiled. He was not actually trying to avoid service. He had only argued for show because he knew Lumiere was probably listening behind the door. And in truth, he was even glad. The idea of the western border somehow felt less frightening than the thought of spending another day at home.